democratic institutions here thousands of years earlier. We are only a very young, independent country, and moving ahead to 2047, when we will be celebrating 100 years as an independent country, that is only a small percentage of our overall existence. We are trying to do several things simultaneously. We are a robust democracy. We are a somewhat loud democracy. But democracy produces strong institutions, which I believe we have, and Parliament is one of them. The others being the free press. I mean, just imagine you are having a conclave, and I see a series of important political people, like my friend sitting here, the previous minister. We all show up because we take the press seriously. But there are some people who, by virtue of the democratic ethos and what results the elections throw up, end up not having even 10% threshold of seats in the lower house to be called or to be formally designated as a leader of opposition. In both houses, they don't have the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha put together, they don't reach a figure of 100. They say that their voice is not heard. I was present in the House when the Honorable President addressed both houses of Parliament. This particular gentleman who goes to a foreign country says that he is not heard. He spoke for 42 minutes. Now maybe he's got selective amnesia, that he doesn't remember his 42-minute speech. Here is a gentleman who goes abroad and decries the absence of democracy. I don't know whether he was born in 1975 or not. That is the only instance I know of where in the history of India, democracy was killed brutally. Civil liberties were suspended, freedom of speech was removed, opposition leaders were locked up. That's the only instance. Who was in power in 1975? Put that aside. A previous government to which this young leader who goes and makes an issue of democracy outside our shores.
You're not naming him.
No, I'll name him in a minute. I have no hesitation in naming him. But I think you don't even need to leave it to anybody's imagination. I see all my young friends smiling. There was a government earlier which used a particular section in our constitution, 356, on 100 occasions. To do what? To dismiss legitimate state governments. This gentleman's grandmother used 356 50 times. We have been in power, or we have been in office, Modi ji, since 2014 May. Do any of you remember us ever having used 356? I'm asking you a factual question. Do any of you think we should use 356? Sometimes the individual concerned, proud Punjabi and Sikh like me says, oh my God, we should. Because sometimes I see things spiraling out of control. No, because ours is a system of cooperative federalism. We are constitutionalists. Because the Prime Minister believes in democracy, he's the only Prime Minister of India who, prior to assuming his position as Prime Minister, served for many years as a successful Chief Minister of a state and saw its transformation from devastation on account of an act of nature to bringing it back and making it a successful state. Now, what is democracy? Who is disrupting democracy? I can have a debate with you on that. But let me come back. My answer is India's is the largest democracy, oldest democracy, and I'm adding it's the strongest democracy. We have a few comical figures, I'm choosing my words carefully, who want to go outside India and seek the intervention of the outside world to have a regime change in India. Why? Because he thinks, and he has an uncle there somewhere, who's saying, no, look at what he's saying, he's actually not wrong. Arey bhai, if I ever make a statement, no uncle or aunt of mine comes to my rescue. I am viciously trolled on social media, and because I'm in politics now, I wear it as a badge of honor. So I think people who go outside India and criticize and seek the intervention, I'm using it within quotes, of an outside government ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I think this is the